Next, we visit an artist's intimate sanctuary. Sam Messer's work can be found at the Metropolitan Museum of Art and the Whitney, among others. Our Beth Kovetz got a look inside his Brooklyn studio.
Artist Sam Messer, Professor Emeritus of the Yale School of Art, has been described as the mischief maker in chief.
Proudly I would embrace that.
And Messer makes a lot of his mischief by throwing himself into the world around him.
A lot of people paint or create to escape, but it seems like you create to join in.
My work there's no real theory in it. I guess the theory would be just to be engaged with the world.
Much of that engagement includes portraits and collaborations with working writers, notable among them Jonathan Safran Foer, Paul Auster, and of course, Auster's typewriter.
I think because I always wanted to be a writer and I can't. It all started too, though. I went to the Provincetown Fine Arts Work Center in 1981 and I met Dennis Johnson. In my mind, all writers were dead, and I was basically the first painter he knew.
Collaborations with Johnson led to an 8-year odyssey creating the animation Dennis the Pirate, narrated by Liev Schreiber. But this isn't your basic Pixar animation.
But most of all, they lived in terror of the day when Dennis the Pirate might come to their peaceful island homes.
What is that drive for 8 years?
Well, I like the idea that I could not think of anyone else who ever made an animation using etchings. I remember I showed an early version at the New York Film Festival. The people before me was this guy who worked also at Pixar, and he had made this film, and he was up there very proudly saying, this took us 6 months and I only had 40 people helping me make it. And I was like, that's kind of interesting, but I made this with 1,700 drawings all by myself and it took me 8 years.
Messer's work hangs in the Met, the Whitney, the Art Institute of Chicago, just to name a few. And standing in the studio of a living master, I asked for a personal tour of his work.
So this painting originally started, it was this big. And then I decided to make it big, and it was just canvas tacked to a wall. And then I started actually adding this. And then I added this part, and then I cut this away, and this is, then it's just glued down to the panel. So the other thing that a lot of the paintings will do is I allow them to expand or contract. And I learned that through my friends with writers. My friends that write, they don't start a book and say, well, I'm going to write a book that's 317 pages.
And Messer continues to collaborate with viewers and writers and the whole of the world.
When I used to paint John Searle, this old self-taught artist, I remember the last painting we made the day he died. He looked at it before we went to breakfast. He said, well, that's good. He said, that's the best. And he called Kevin Morris, who was his dealer in New York, and he said, yeah, that was the best one we've made. And I realized, yeah, we did make them together, right? So whether it's someone doing something for you or just talking or getting you thinking.
This has been Beth Kovetz for Arts in the City.